Hello, welcome to the Peer Recovery Community Center in Newport, Kentucky, a podcast about the many untalked about conversations for people in addiction recovery. Each week in the month of November, we deliver the best conversations about untalked issues with local recovery coaches and community members. My name is Martin. I'm your host for today's conversation. Hi there, everyone. This is Martin. I'm the outreach coordinator here at the Peer Recovery Community Center. For the month of November, we decided to do some recovery talks and invite some people to talk about their experience with different areas of focus for people in recovery. So today we have Sarah Bickers with us. Sarah is an employment specialist here at Mental Health America, working out of the Peer Recovery Community Center. How are you doing today, Sarah?
Hey, Martin, I'm doing really well. How are you?
Excellent. So we're really glad to have you on this talk today. And can you share a little bit about who you are, a little bit about your recovery, and a little bit of what you're going to be talking about today?
Yeah, absolutely. So, like Martin said, my name is Sarah Bickers. I've been in recovery from substance use for about 3.5 years. I attend a 12-step program. I also have incorporated things like fitness and health and wellness and well-being and things like that as another way to, add to my mental health and my substance use recovery and just to make my life better in general. I work at the Peer. I'm a peer support specialist. I focus on pre-employment, so helping people get those immediate jobs, which that was a struggle for me when I first got into recovery, was
Right.
Where am I going to fit back into the world?
Right.
What's this going to look like for me? And Martin and I are going to be talking about goal setting, and really that's where it began for me was, re-entering society. Once I got into recovery, that's when I started setting goals, and it was my first experience with that. So it was like foreign and uncomfortable and unfamiliar.
So Sarah, you talked a little bit about being a peer support specialist. Can you explain a little bit to our viewers and people that are going to be listening to this what peer support is and who a peer support specialist is?
Yeah, absolutely. A peer support specialist is someone with lived experience in recovery from mental health or substance use. So I use my personal experience to help someone also recovering from substance use or mental health. By setting goals for their recovery, their life, and helping them break those down and meet them. I provide support really in any facet that someone needs it. Our goal is to meet people where they are, and to never really give advice or direct, just to, share experience and to be there just as someone that understands.
Yeah, I like what you said, because peer support has been around for a really long time. I mean, if you take the 12-step model of, Alcoholics Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous, people have been doing peer support since the 1930s. One person in recovery talking to another person in recovery, and how important that is to a person's recovery, because I think we spend so much time, in treatment, meeting with social workers and counselors, but there's this connection piece that happens when we meet other people in recovery that have that lived, shared experience of, hey, I went through that too, and how did you get through that? So, I think that's awesome, because today we're going to be talking a lot about goal setting, and Sarah is going to talk to us about her experience as a person in recovery and how important it is to set personal goals, professional goals, goals around health and fitness, maybe financial goals as well. Because I think in recovery, we focus so much on, getting back the apartment, getting back our kids. But it's like, when we do that, we have to have that mindset of, I'm going to work towards this. But there are certain ways you can reach your goals, So Sarah's going to talk a lot today about that. So Sarah, can you explain to our viewers what the goal setting process looks like? What is goal setting, and how that's been a part of your recovery?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, when I'm thinking, just on my own without bouncing anything off of anybody on how to set a goal, initially it was just like, something kind of grand, like I want to lose 100 pounds. That would be my goal. That is also a goal. But really, when I think about that seems almost unattainable. So for myself, it's easier to break things down into shorter goals. However, there is something called SMART. It's an acronym for goal setting, and I just wanted to share what SMART stands for. I think that it's a good way to set a goal, and it's a good way to kind of keep track of progress and a way to like break it down instead of having this giant goal that can seem almost looming. So SMART stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-based. So when setting the goal, I found that it's important to be specific. So losing 100 pounds, that is specific. So, I could write that down, and I find that it is important for me to write it down, not to just have it in my head, to have this written down. So I would say in 1 year, I want to lose 100 pounds. And then measurable, like that's what evidence I'm going to use to provide like the progress toward my goal. Like in what way am I going to get there?
Right.
So like I'm going to ride my bike 5 days a week for 30 minutes. I'm going to drink 3 liters of water. I'm going to eat 1,500 calories. Like that's measurable for me. And then the A for achievable, like, is this achievable for me? Am I being realistic with myself? Is this something that I can do? So that for me, that's where I can break that 100 pounds down into, I want to lose, 10 pounds this month.
Yeah. So you said earlier on today that, health and fitness is a big part of your recovery journey today. Mm-hmm. And you and I have spoken a little bit offline about your weight loss journey. Is this a goal that you're actually working towards now? Are you using that? Because I know you've shared with me and some other folks that you've lost a significant amount of weight since you've been in recovery. Is the SMART model been working for you as you've been doing this fitness and weight loss journey?
Honestly, the SMART model is just something that I have learned about recently. So I just kind of integrated my goal into that because I like the way that it's broken down. Because like I said, I have something that's so large and I'll lose track of my progress if I'm not really like looking at how am I achieving it. And for instance, I just recently got off course. I've lost 50 pounds. So I'm halfway to my goal. Thank you. And that's huge, especially for someone who's never really set a goal or completed many goals. So when I look at that, okay, I'm halfway there. I have gotten off course. And it's easy for me to just say, forget it. Like, I don't want to do it. This is good enough.
Right.
But it isn't, because I do want to get to my goal.
Sure.
Because, that's where I feel like I'll be healthier and more fit in many ways in my life. So, when I got off course, I was able to set another small goal. Actually, just 3 days ago, I set this goal.
Nice.
That I'm going to start tracking my calories again. I'm going to go to the gym on my regular schedule, which I have been doing. And I'm also going to not allow myself to drink so many Diet Cokes, which sounds kind of counterintuitive. We have talked about this, Martin.
Yeah.
But Diet Coke is a thing for me. I can get a little bit wild with the Diet Coke. So I like to use it.
Well, it's a lot healthier than whiskey or vodka.
Yes, so. It is way healthier than whiskey or vodka. But just for myself, I need to reel it in on the Diet Cokes because I will drink 15 a day sometimes. So I'm going to use that as a treat. And this, I've proven to myself that this works for me. So I'm back on track with my goal. So I was able to, use the SMART model and revamp that goal. So I'm back on track. My end goal is to lose 100 pounds.
So that's your specific goal.
That's my specific goal.
When you talk about being specific with your goal, your goal isn't I just want to lose weight.
Exactly.
The specific goal is here, I want to lose 100 pounds. And you could even go and, dig a little bit deeper and say, I would like to lose 100 pounds by September 1st of 2021.
Exactly.
So that would be that's a real specific goal for someone.
Absolutely. Okay. Yes. And having it, the T in SMART is time-based. Having that specific date is of utmost importance, because how do I measure something if I just say a year from now, is different from I've been on it for 6 months. So, having that specific date is important. You're right.
That's cool.
Thanks.
So what's there's SMART. So why do you feel like goal setting is so important for people in recovery when it comes to finding recovery, clean and sober, as some people will use those terms. Why do you think goal setting is so important for people in recovery, maybe people in early recovery as well?
I feel like goal setting, helps trigger new behaviors. I think that goal setting has helped guide and focus my life. Right. If I don't have specific things I'm working toward, I can tend to do the same things over and over. And in recovery, that doesn't work for me because my definition of recovery is an active change in my thoughts and ideas.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So I have to be working towards something to do that because it doesn't occur naturally for me.
Right. Because you hear a lot of people when they first come into recovery, it's, some people say, I want to get my kids back, or I'd like to go back to college, or I'd like to finish my degree, or, there's a position within my company that I want to get to, because, drugs and alcohol or untreated mental illness can really, keep us from reaching our full potential. And it kind of gets us off track sometimes. So as we know that when we find recovery, we're resilient people that can bounce back very quickly. Mm-hmm. I just know from my experience, I've not always been able to say, here's my goal. What are the next steps? What's my time frame? Is this achievable? And breaking it down using the SMART model. Because if you take a look at our lives since we've been in recovery, we've achieved so much, and it all just started with a mindset of things, So what are the different types of goals you think are important, and what do you think their purposes are?
So the 3 types of goals that I know of are outcome goals, process goals, and performance goals. So an outcome goal is specific, and it spells out results that you hope to achieve, so it would be setting something specific, and I want this specific outcome. A process goal is also called a procedural goal. It's the behaviors and strategies that help us perform and increase our chances of achieving our desired outcome goals. For example, the process goal for losing weight may include reducing calories, riding my bike, increasing my water intake, things like that.
Do you feel like when people are working towards their goals, and maybe you have some experience with this, Sarah, have you had experiences where you're working towards the goal and you have minor setbacks? Maybe something doesn't go as planned. Maybe, you overeat one day, or maybe you don't go to the gym one day, using your personal journey with fitness and exercise. What suggestions do you give for people that are having setbacks with their goals? Maybe the person's going back to college and they fail a class and their self-esteem is affected, and they have a hard time challenging their thoughts from negative to positive. What suggestion do you give for people that are having setbacks with their goals?
When I have setbacks in my goals, I really draw on recovery and like what recovery is and what I've learned in the sense of, I'm living life on life's terms. Like it isn't always smooth and just a flat or a steady uphill climb. It's peaks and valleys, and it's difficult. So perseverance there, just if I fall to the wayside a little bit, to correct in whatever way that I can, and set a small goal. For today, I'm going to drink, 3 liters of water. I'm going to eat 1,500 calories, and I'm going to go to the gym. I'm just using my weight loss goal again. Instead of like, on Sunday I ate 3,400 calories and I just slept all day. I'm just going to keep doing that because it felt good.
It's so easy to beat yourself up.
Yeah.
When you have minor setbacks, or even like people that, that are in recovery and their goal is to get, 1 year in recovery, clean and sober. And then they have a slip or they return back to drinking or using, we beat ourselves up when that happens. So, just, it's so important, like you said, just to get back on track.
Yeah. Yeah. Beating ourselves up serves no one, it does nothing but, deepen the issue. That's my experience with really hurting myself and then, kicking myself while I'm down. I'll just stay down. Like there's no rising for that. So if I'm like, hey, that's behavior that I want to change. So I've identified that, and then to set a goal to change that behavior, a specific way to change that. Having a plan always works for me.
Right. And I think it's okay that we deviate from plans sometimes, but it's so important to just get back on track.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if you've ever heard this, but people will say, recovery is a journey, not a destination. And what experience you have with having a goal, working towards the goal, completing the goal, then what happens next? Is it one of those things you go into idle time? Are you in stagnant waters? Do you create another goal? Because we're always evolving as people in recovery. What does that look like for you as you complete a goal? Do you create a new one, or do you find something else that you work on?
Yeah, I'm constantly creating a new goal. I like to have short-term goals, long-term goals, daily goals. I have a very scheduled life. Like everything has a time, which doesn't work for everyone. I don't even think I'm really necessarily suggesting that. But that's just how I do it. That's what keeps me on track. And I pride myself on being efficient, and that's the way that I do it. I'll give the example of, I had this goal of going to nursing school, and that's all I wanted to do. I got into nursing school, and I was quickly asked to leave the program because they do a background check, and I did not pass it. And that was devastating.
Sure.
So I had to, I identified myself being in some self-pity, which happened quickly because I felt like something had just been taken from me.
Right.
So I was able to set a new goal. And I decided to get a CDCA. I was able to achieve that goal, and I was able to change the course of my career. And it has worked out very well. It was devastating, but setting the goal and achieving something, I feel like it just did something for my self-esteem, and the blow wasn't so hard. I didn't feel like, my life was, I don't want to say pointless, but that, that I had to find a new direction for everything.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. And it just talks, that story just shows that we are resilient and perseverant with our recovery. So, what celebrations do you give yourself, or rewards do you give yourself once you've completed a goal? Some people, lose the 100 pounds and then they'll say, I've got $500 to go buy a new outfit, or I don't think celebrating with a large amount of food would be healthy, but, what would it look like for you? Or how are you going to reward yourself once you reach your goal of losing 100 pounds as a person in recovery?
So, I like Levi's jeans a lot, and they're kind of expensive. So when I go down a size, I buy myself 2 pair of Levi's.
Nice.
They have resale value, which is good. You know, like when I don't want them anymore, I can sell them. But that's how I reward myself. And I do plan on rewarding myself with plastic surgery when I do lose 100 pounds.
Okay, nice.
I know that's a little taboo, but I am very excited about it.
Sure.
And I think that if I've done all this work to get my body, you know, and my fitness level to a place where I want it, why not just go full force?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think whatever, you know, you need to do to improve your self-esteem and the perceptions of yourself. You know, my nephew just recently got braces. He was really self-conscious about his teeth, and I can already tell the difference in his confidence and self-esteem since he's had braces. So yeah, absolutely. I think it's beautiful that, you know, we just continue to work on these things as we progress and get better, you know. So, Sarah, that's all the time we have today. Thank you so much for chatting with us and being a part of this 4-week webinar series on somewhat taboo, somewhat unspoken conversations about people in recovery. So I'm really thankful you came today.
Thanks, Martin. It was awesome to do this. I really appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you're listening for the first time, this is one of 4 webinar podcasts that we are going to be putting out for the month of November. Be sure to check out our social media platforms on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube with peer_recovery. We're also online with our website, www.pierrcc.org. If you'd like to learn more about what we do here at the Recovery Center, please reach out to us through social media or through our website, and we'll be more than happy to connect with you and to learn a little bit about what you do in the community. Thank you so much for joining us today. Have a pleasant day.